It's Alicia Burke with Long Beach Local News with a special business spotlight featuring our very own Long Beach Area Chamber of Commerce. Today I'm joined by the President and CEO of the Chamber, Jeremy Harris. Hi, Jeremy.
How you doing?
Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
So Jeremy is here to tell us more about the Chamber, its mission, and commitment to the Long Beach community. If you have any questions or comments for Jeremy, please join our live chat. We'll do our best to answer them throughout the show. So just starting off, the Long Beach Area Chamber of Commerce has been serving the Long Beach community since 1891. So for those who don't know, what exactly is the Long Beach Area Chamber of Commerce and how did you become involved in this organization?
Sure, thank you. So we are the pro-business organization, membership-based business association here in Long Beach. We're about 750 members strong, and these individuals are mom and pops to multinational companies, along with some nonprofits, because as we all know, Long Beach has a deep dedication of nonprofits and a lot of variety of them as well. Mm-hmm. So some of those folks belong, along with entrepreneurs. Big fans of entrepreneurs and folks that want to start a business here in Long Beach, so we support them as well. I became involved with the Chamber about 9 years ago. I was serving as the president and CEO of a smaller chamber in Orange County. I was recruited to come back to Long Beach, and I say back to Long Beach because I went to school at Long Beach State, so
All
go
right.
Beach. And I was our senior vice president for those about 7 years, overseeing all operations, communications, and our government affairs programs. And then about a year and a half ago, I ascended to the helm of president and CEO after our longtime CEO, Randy Gordon, retired after 26 years. So took over in the middle of the pandemic.
Oh wow, so you've had a lot to deal with.
Like a lot of people.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So as a new leader of the Chamber, what different perspective do you bring and how do you think that approach resonates with the Long Beach community?
Sure. No, I think like a lot of organizations and companies, we've had to take a deep look to our organization and how we operate, especially during the pandemic, mm-hmm. right? You know, who would have known 20 or so months ago, you know, you flip the switch and we're all at home and it's like, okay, we all become experts at Zoom or name your favorite, you know, video platform.
Has it been that long?
Yeah,
Wow.
It has. Yes, it has. So we adapted and
mm-hmm.
we pivoted, and all those great, wonderful words that people used in the last 20 months, we were no different. We had to do the same. So, you know, we grabbed our membership and our leadership, and we said, we're going to continue to function as an organization. Let's get our members through the pandemic, but let's continue to operate in this new world of video platforming and virtual and everything else. And that's what we did. Mm-hmm. So coming out of it, you know, I'm hoping to take some of that energy and making sure our business community is still connected. You know, I've got a long history and being in and around chambers of commerce, so I'm hoping to lend some of that experience as we move forward and get out of this pandemic.
Great. And as you know, you're talking about the pandemic, and most small businesses are contemplating, you know, on ways to cut back due to the pandemic. Mm-hmm. So why should they spend their money with the Chamber of Commerce?
Yeah, so it's a great question, and you know, unlike, or I should say, like a lot of organizations, you know, that have a membership, you know, tied to them, I think a lot of folks had to make some hard decisions on, hey, you know, do I keep the lights on, or mm-hmm. are my employees employed, or do I pay, you know, these membership dues? So what we did in the beginning of the pandemic, we basically dropped our membership model, and we said, anybody is everybody out there that needs help during the pandemic and you're a business owner, come see us, because we centered ourselves as the trusted organization in town in terms of getting all of that information out, whether it was the health orders that were going back and forth, the PPP funding and the financing, Fed dollars that needed to get to our business members. So we essentially said, we're the go-to organization, we'll help get you through this. And we did that for 8 or 9 months.
Wow.
And then as those folks realized the information and the work we were doing on their behalf, because we never closed, we still stayed open, it was just a virtual thing like everybody else, they realized the value of a membership in the Chamber of Commerce. Because we did all kinds of stuff outside of that. I know we'll talk a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, I mean, you have over 700 businesses and nonprofits still as members, so something worked.
Yeah, we're going to go on record probably by the end of December. We'll probably have our best membership year
Wow.
in the last 5 years. And a lot of that is attributed to the hard work of our staff, our leadership, our board, because of the work we did during the early days of the pandemic to help those businesses, you know, stay open the best that we could.
Wow. So, you know, we're talking about, you know, people being members, and obviously there's benefits that come with membership with the Chamber of Commerce. Yeah. So can you share some of the key tangible benefits that do come with the membership and explain why they are so beneficial?
Sure. Yeah, so when you hear Chamber of Commerce, you kind of think networking mixers, ribbon cuttings, grand openings, mm-hmm. you know, breakfast, lunches, dinners, happy hours, all of that. We do all of that.
Yes.
But I think our bread and butter really is our advocacy side of things. You know, we are one of the few chambers in the state of California that has a political action committee. We're not shy shy about that, so we look to endorse pro-business candidates. We also take up pro-business issues. These are monies that we raise separate from our membership dollars, so it's a separate entity, but it's tied to the chamber because we're really looking out for our business community and trying to find those elected officials to support businesses. And then on the flip side, we take up your every Tuesday night city council meeting regular issues that are impacting our businesses or are good for our businesses and supporting those. So we're at City Hall most Tuesdays. We're up in Sacramento if you need us, and we're back in DC as well. So you want grand openings, networking mixers, and luncheons and breakfasts and dinners, we'll do those for you, but we also do a lot of the advocacy work and the heavy lifting on behalf of our business community.
That's great. You guys are busy.
Very busy. We got a great team to help us, though.
Awesome. I love it. And we're just speaking about those networking events, and I know you guys host about 3 to 4 monthly events, both virtually and in person. So what can attendees that go to these events, what can they expect from these events?
So we've got the big networking events. We're known for our big special events here in the community. Sometimes we have the biggest lunch in town, approximately 1,000 folks. Sometimes we have the biggest dinner in town, 800 or 900 folks as well. So we'll put a lot of people in a room, and it's our goal is to make sure we can connect those folks that are in a room to do business together. But like you said, monthly we've got 3 or 4 different mixers or breakfasts or luncheons that we do, and that's to help that small business owner or middle-sized business owner or entrepreneur, get connected in a sphere of influence that's impactful for their industry. So we've got a variety of business councils, committees of a chamber, it's a fancy term that we call it, and they get into the particular industry for those businesses. So we don't expect everybody to go to everything, and quite frankly, when we sit down with you and you join the chamber, we say, what are you looking for to get out of your membership? Because we go over all the benefits and everything that you'll get, but we want to make sure we tailor the membership to that particular individual and make sure they get the most value out of their membership.
That's interesting. And are there any success stories that you can share with us about that came directly from the networking events?
Yeah, a couple that I'll share. When we had to go virtual, believe it or not, people still wanted the network. They still wanted to, talk with one another, even though it was through a screen, right? And so we did a thing called Thursday Thursdays for a little bit of time. Every other Thursday, we would be online and we would bring folks together. Maybe we'd have a certain topic or two, and then go to breakout rooms so people can network with one another.
Okay.
And then we expanded with other chambers of commerce in the Southern California region, and then we started seeing some of our members doing business with other members of other chambers, because as we know, business doesn't just stop in Long Beach, right, at the borders. So we had a couple of success stories there where we had actual members here in Long Beach were doing catering jobs, virtually and delivering food, to other parts of the community outside of Long Beach. We're back in person now. We also had another member that would connect at some of our networking events that has a gift or a gift box exchange program where they would drop off gift boxes. Again, we're all having to be at home and everything, but you still want to send a gift. So we had a newer member that does that kind of work, and she got some referrals coming out of our networking mixers. So we don't ever guarantee that we're going to make your cash register ring or you're going to get business. We're going to put you in a room so you can sell yourself so you can get that business. That's always been our motto.
Awesome. So you're giving opportunity.
Absolutely. Opportunity is the biggest thing we can provide.
That's awesome. And speaking of opportunity, obviously I'm young. But what are you guys doing for the younger generation? I know a lot of people hear chamber and they just think older generation. What are you guys doing with the young professionals, and were they a part of those mixers and things that you had virtually?
Well, Alicia, I'm going to count myself as young too.
Okay,
so
okay. I didn't want to.
That's okay.
Didn't want to put that on you.
Hey, I'm going to take it as long as I can get it.
Okay.
The chamber about 6 or 7 years ago realized, you hear Chamber of Commerce, you think kind of good old white boys club, or that my grandfather's chamber. We know there's great talent here in Long Beach, and we said, how do we tap into the future business leaders? So we created the Long Beach Young Professionals Program. It's one of our most successful committees within the chamber. These folks are the ones that we lean on and we tap to say, hey, from a mission standpoint, an advocacy standpoint, networking, all of that, are we doing it right? Is this what you guys want? So we've got buy-in from this group in terms of how we operate as a main chamber of commerce. The president of our Long Beach Young Professionals group, our committee, serves on our board as well. So there's a leadership component to it as well. So it's not just another committee that we put somebody in the corner and say, okay, yeah, we'll listen to you. No, they've got buy-in on our board too in terms of them being invested in direction of our chamber. There are about 75 to 100 members just in that group. They meet on a monthly basis, breakfast in the morning, after hours, and they rotate that every other month.
Okay. It's nice that you have representation for the younger professionals, and I've worked with your team, and I know that you have some young people on your team.
Yeah.
Does that help in kind of getting that newer generation in, that younger generation in?
It does. It's funny. I kind of overnight, when my predecessor retired a year and a half ago, I became almost the elder person in the office. We've got a great and fantastic team. So I've taken a step back from the young professional program. I was the one that originally started and created it with some help of our volunteer leaders. But our Vice President of Membership, Natalie Layton, has done a fantastic job of stepping in as the staff liaison to that group. And like you said, we've got a young, vibrant staff, and I think that contributes to the success of that program.
Awesome. And I did a little digging on your website, and your mission statement states the Chamber is a platform for business to provide leadership, education, and advocacy so that the Long Beach area thrives in the 21st century.
Yep.
Now, how is the Chamber living up to that mission and their commitment to the Long Beach community, and how do you push forward with that?
Sure. I think all the programs that we do, we keep that in mind. I'd also like to add that we have this 3C lingo that we talk about, how we're a catalyst, a convener, and a champion. So we take those 3Cs along with the mission and make sure any of the programming we're doing, again, going back to a lot of folks who say, oh, you do the ribbon cutting ceremonies and networking mixers. Well, there's a reason why we do that, is so we can help businesses thrive by doing those networking or those connections. Mm-hmm. But the advocacy piece that's in our mission, that's again something, our bread and butter, that we take real serious, because we want to make sure business thrives here in Long Beach, and the nonprofits as well. So I don't want to forget about them as well.
Awesome. And how does a local business go about becoming a member of the Chamber?
Sure, you can do it a variety of ways. You can tap us on social media, on one of our social media handles, lbchamber.com. There's an application right there online. Our Vice President of Membership, Natalie Layton, you can reach out to her, or even myself. We're happy to sit down, talk to you, make sure it's a right fit. Sometimes it might not work out. We're not for everybody, unfortunately. I like to think we are, but some folks say, hey, that's not for me right now. No problem, no hard feeling. Just know that we're still going to be working on your behalf, because if you're part of this business community, we see ourselves again as the leader business association here in town. So we're here to help all businesses.
Awesome. Well, it seems like the pandemic has not slowed you guys down, and you guys are doing great things. So thank you for joining me. That was really all I had for you.
Perfect.
It was a pleasure to learn more about the Long Beach Area Chamber of Commerce. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I just want to say thank you to you and the team for having me this morning. And if there's anything that you guys need, please reach out to us. lbchamber.com is the best way to get a hold of us. Our team's on there as well, and I'm looking forward to a great 2022.
So are we. So thank you all for watching. Please join us again tomorrow for the weekly update show. Until then, have a great rest of your day. I'm Alicia Burke with Long Beach Local News.